one HR task that you wish was automated yesterday?
I would say two. Number one is, I think, collection of documents. When an employee onboards or when they submit different proofs or expenses, I think many companies are still on paper. I think that has to be digitized. And second thing, specifically in the India context, I believe it's the compliance. In India specifically, we have many, labor laws and institutions like EPFO for Provident Fund, Income Tax, Professional Tax, Labor Welfare Fund, ESI, and many other acts like Maternity Act, Gratuity Act. I think all these have to be automated so that the organizations can stay focused on their business. I think many people think HR tech is a database or very transactional, just an Excel sheet uploaded into a web app. That's the biggest myth. Fundamentally, HR as a department is an operating system for any organization. And HR tech is the OS behind the operating system.
And where does data security, data privacy, all of that, because you're dealing with people's information sources, where does that sit within the whole thing?
So it sits within the database, right? And based on the regulations, at times we also need to encrypt the data, mask the data, and all these things, right? We have something called as a vault, where it is more secured both at in transit and at rest. With respect to the data part.
I'm going to switch gears a bit, right? And I'm going to go talk a little bit about the internal culture, etc., about the company. So how would you describe your engineering culture at greytHR, and what goes into hiring top talent in your organization?
One of the things that we feel very, very proud when it comes to engineering is, every engineering team actually ships a lot of features and to the products. But the unique thing that we have is we almost have 2 releases in a day. Right, 2 release windows in a day. Many a times, companies have once in a month release or once in 15 days release. So we actually are very, very agile. We ensure that, whatever is ready, we have different product lines from recruit to, HR, payroll, leave, attendance, etc. So whatever is ready actually goes through the window. And it took us a lot of refinement, process, modernization to reach that level. And with respect to talent hiring, I would like to share one anecdote here. Right?
Sure.
I think in 2021, 2022, when we had great resignation, right? So it becomes very tough for every organization to retain the employees, high-performing employees, and also to hire new talent, because every company is actually throwing money into the market to hire the best talent. So that was a time when we also hired a lot of employees, but unfortunately, many of them actually just before joining us went somewhere else, because candidates typically do a lot of offer shopping and recruiter ghosting, right? So then a year later, we actually reviewed the data and understood that all the candidates who are rejecting us are from Bangalore or Chennai or Hyderabad.
Okay.
Then we understood that, why don't we expand the, our scatter net to the tier 2, tier 3 cities. So that's where we started hiring from Coimbatore, Haridwar, Nagpur, Vijayawada, Indore, Jaipur, etc. And we got really good talent. Now, what we do is we actually pay them the Bangalore salary so that, they are extremely competitive. So the roti kapda makan and dobi is taken care by the parents. They don't really need to spend anything. And we keep communicating this message to them, saying, if you want to come and work in the office, we have offices across different cities in India. But at the same time, I think anybody with a starting salary, it's very tough to live in cities like Bangalore or Noida or Hyderabad, because the real estate costs are high, the hospital costs are high, the school fee is exorbitant, and the air quality index has gone pretty bad. It has dropped significantly. The traffic is bad, and in the Indian weather conditions, whether it is summer or rainy season, end of the day, by the time you come to office, you get wet. So these are some of the things I think, pandemic has really helped us to relook at how we manage remote workforce. So this is the third successful year where we have attrition less than 3 or 4% in engineering organization of close to 120 people. So Bain actually says, the best engineering teams have 12 to 16%, where we kind of maintained it less than 4%. And, it is because of, the flexibility that we have given. A lot of our engineers also have this thing called workation, where they book an Airbnb in Darjeeling or Gokarna or Goa or Pondicherry and start working a week or couple from there.
Oh wow. Okay, that's really a strong point to want to join your organization. You're known for your strong engineering backbone. How does technology drive day-to-day operations inside your company? How do you use tech for that?
Because we are an HR tech company, whatever we develop, we dog food it first. So we call it as dog fooding. So we eat our own food. Recently, we launched expense management. So before launching it to the wider customer, we started using it, identified what can be the improvements, bugs, etc., and fixed it, and then rolled it out to the beta and the larger customer segment that we have. We use many SaaS tools within the organization in terms of technology, and we have quarterly SaaS tools review where we see what's the outcome of a new SaaS tool. Is it really helping? If not, scrape it out and bring in new tools, etc. So I think fundamentally SaaS tools help a lot in terms of giving insights, but the crux is it's not just about the tool. A Salesforce or Jira can always give insight, but it's the lean mindset which actually drives the improvement in any organization.
Okay. And from an engineering leadership point of view, what are your top technology investments, and what are the new initiatives that you've kind of prioritized recently?
See, AI definitely is one of the top investments that we have. Of course, at the start of the 2025, there is a lot of news about AI hype, and at the end of the 25, everybody is talking about AI bubble. But I believe there is no smoke without fire. So essentially, we personally have witnessed tremendous amount of improvement in our productivity. For example, developers in our teams actually use Cursor AI, Claude AI to do vibe code. Today, in most of the greenfield projects, 80 to 85% of our code is actually written by AI.
Okay.
And QA, we are testing few automation tools which are having some bit of embedded AI in it. And even for the reliability, essentially reliability has a lot of, tons and tons of data. We call it as logs, metrics, and traces. Right? And for a human to actually browse through that boring data and make sense out of it, it becomes extremely tough. And that's where AI agents that we use give us a daily report of, okay, this is the area where you have over provisioned the infrastructure. This is the area where we have seen a lot of errors, right? And based on that, we actually go and tweak and observe the next day. So that's how we are actually making a lot of improvements.
What technologies are you exploring for the next phase of greytHR?
Fundamentally, again, it goes back to AI, because any SaaS application, and specifically coming to greytHR, right? An HR actually wants to come and do a task for which they need to search and get their task done. Essentially, searching and getting the task done, we want to completely simplify it, where a natural language command like raise a loss of pay for so and so employee, right? It should actually search the employee, go to the loss of pay, and on so and so date, you raise a loss of pay and commit it, right? As simple as that, typically, which takes 2 minutes. Today, with just a single command, should be able to come to reality. So that's where, as I said, the system of intelligence in the HR tech evolution. So we want to have a combination of all levels of maturity in our system to offer to our customers.
And share a little more about the AI capabilities that you offer today.
See, fundamentally, AI boom actually came into picture once the ChatGPT came, which is one critical or key aspect of AI, which we call as Gen AI. Let me give you some real-time use cases. For example, at the entry of every office, earlier there used to be somebody sitting and looking and holding a register to mark the attendance.
Correct.
And over a period of time, we also got these access cards where you swipe in, and then the biometric. So people or the employees were able to spoof all those things in terms of buddy punching and spoofing. So that's where we initially brought in face recognition and blink eye detection. We have received some tickets from customers saying, even blink eye detection has been spoofed in terms of recording a blink eye and playing it in front of it and, somebody barging in. So that's where we used an AI library to get to the best accuracy possible in terms of, the face recognition. As I was indicating earlier, the OCR, typically we travel, go to restaurants, and,
Correct.
if we have to submit the invoice, we have to send it to email, open it, save it on desktop, upload, and then do. Today, with a click of a pick, right? It automatically reads the invoice number, the amount, date, type of the expense, and it submits. Same way, I think, HRs, whenever they actually have some queries, instead of chatting with the support assistant, they can actually chat with a chatbot, and chatbot internally looks into our knowledge base and responds. And one other, brilliant feature that we have, which we use for feedback and recognition, is many of Indians are not so fluent in English, because that English is not many people's mother tongue.
Correct.
And hence, while sharing feedback, people tend to be a little rude because of their accent or whatever. So and workplace conflicts a lot of times happen because somebody felt offended because their manager gave a very rude feedback in writing or verbally. So verbally, it takes time to correct, but in writing, typically these days what everybody is doing is they write, paste it in ChatGPT, get a polished version, and then send an email. I think everybody is doing it. So we have integrated that into our application. So whenever somebody wants to write a feedback, they just have to click on greytHR, and that actually gives a professional version of it in 3 different ways, and they can actually use it. So if I have to sum up all these examples, now face recognition falls into computer vision category of AI. OCR falls into the natural language processing. Chatbot falls into the conversational AI. And finally, the greytHR actually uses the Gen AI in terms of correcting the tone and sentence formation of anybody.
If an SME wants to go digital, what are the top 2 or 3 digital tools that SME should immediately consider adopting to make their businesses more efficient?
Fundamentally, any business deals with 3 critical parts. One, of course, is customers, and second thing is the money part, the business or the revenue part, and third is the people. So for customers, I think the CRM is extremely important for any business to manage the revenue operations. And for the money part, accounting tool is extremely important. And for people, HR tech is important. So as long as a business can have a very solid HR tech, a CRM, and an accounting tool, the business is taken care of.
And my last question for the day: what strategies does greytHR use to support and empower SMEs?
This ties back to our mission in terms of being backbone for HRs, and specifically in the micro, small, medium enterprises. So we offer something called as a freemium. This is not a very popular word beyond B2B SaaS. So the difference between free trial and freemium is free trial is unlimited features for limited time. So you can actually try the product, say for example, a 7-day period or a 14-day period fully. But once the free trial ends, you cannot use the product anymore. Freemium is limited features for unlimited time, wherein all your basic features with respect to onboarding, to leave management, to payroll processing, etc., the limited features for unlimited time. So as an MSME or as an SME, greytHR's freemium model is something that can be used for lifetime free of cost. This is something that we use as a strategy to help and support and stick to our mission of helping the HRs in their day-to-day operations. And beyond the product, we also have webinars, podcasts, and compliances wiki. We were awarded one of the best podcasts by ET, early this year. And we also have free access to tons of courses on Udemy. Today, we boast that more than 50,000 certified greytHR learners are available on Udemy. So any company who is using greytHR can actually use the certified HR professional from Udemy to get their HR operations managed. So whether it is freemium or the thought leadership series or the courses, all this is to support the SMEs free of cost.
Interesting. And how does one SME quickly get to a freemium? Just go to your website, log in.
Yeah, so just go to the website, click few buttons, get the free trial. And once the free trial is over, we have something called as a starter plan in the website. You get to the starter plan, you can see all the features that are available and go start using it.
Wow, that's an easy way to start using a freemium model. Thank you.
You don't need to talk to anybody from greytHR's team. You can just go to the website and start using it, process payroll for your employees, onboard them, exit them, etc.
And does the freemium also have all the data protection and the PII and all of that as part of it?
Yes, of course.
So they could easily share their data with you and not have any concerns about that.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. This has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you once again for being a part of this show and for being a part of the Do Big podcast. Thank you so much for your time and thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.